Oh, baby, Warriors basketball. It's official. The Golden State Warriors are back. Warriors basketball is back to being an absolute thing of beauty. Steph is healthy. Steph is on fire, coming off the bench on a minutes restriction with the foot still not 100%. And it's kind of amazing and rather comical to think he's not even fully healthy quite yet. Steph Curry, the microwave last night. 34 points in 23 minutes. That's the first time in Steph's career he's had over 30 points in a game in fewer than 25 minutes. Unreal. Steph Curry shot 71% from the field, a playoff high. You know, sometimes numbers can be overrated. Not this one. Steph with a plus 32 last night. Plus 32 when he was on the court. It really hits home just how brilliant he was and how dominant and unstoppable the Warriors were when he was out there. Curry was doing the prologue shimmy. He mouthed, "I'm bleeping back." Post-game, he said he had a little pep in the old step. You think? The swagger and the play is off the charts. The greatest shooter of all time is back and having fun. And how mesmerizing was the end of that second quarter? The death lineup, as they're calling it. It was death for the Denver Nuggets last night. With Curry and Jordan Poole and Clay and Draymond and Wiggins, it's just awesome. The 28-6 run at the end of the first half was jaw-dropping. The cuts, the ball movement. You have to actually jog the mental Rolodex to remember the Nuggets were up early in the first quarter before the Warriors just blitzed them in the second and third. In fact, the 44 points the Warriors scored in the third was the most ever in the playoffs under my guy Steve Kerr. And the fact that the historic Splash Brothers of Steph and Clay have another wingman with a water reference of a name, I mean, it's kind of perfect. I mean, Jordan Poole, this cat belongs. He's playing like a star. It's how he played in college, how he played when Steph was hurt. Poole has 59 points in his first two playoff games of his career. Steph and Clay and Poole combined for 149 points, shooting 56% from the field and 51% from three in their first two games here in the postseason. These three outscored the Denver Nuggets by themselves in the third quarter. When Steph is off of the minutes limits and ready to start, I'm telling you right now, Poole does not go to the bench. It's going to be Wiggins, most likely Wiggins, or Clay. Now, I still think the Phoenix Suns are the team to beat. I still think the death lineup would struggle against DeAndre Ayton as a big with Booker and Paul and Bridges working their magic. But I cannot stop smiling after last night. And I'm ready to fast forward to the Warriors and the Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Unbelievable. Freddie Freeman hits his first home run for the Dodgers in his first at-bat against his former team. You gotta love sports. You can't make it up. We made a big deal on Time to Shine yesterday about how much we love the Freddie chants. And Freeman talked about it pregame, how much it motivates him and how much he loves it and wants to live up to the amazing Dodgers fan support. And, of course, he was emotional facing the team he played for his entire career and won an MVP with and won a World Series with last year. And when he cranked one deep into the Los Angeles night in majestic fashion, it was perfect and poetic. Freeman is built for the Hollywood stage. He was on fire this past homestand, but he was still looking for that first Dodger home run. And, of course, it was against the Braves. There's just such a special, magical quotient to the night last night with Freeman homering against his whole team and Clayton Kershaw taking the mound in his first home start of the year. This, of course, right after Dave Roberts inexplicably removed him from a perfect game after 7 innings. Still can't get over that. Kershaw has one of the greatest home winning percentages as a starter in baseball history. And the Dodgers crowd let him know once again how much they absolutely love him. And heck, for good measure, you even had Kershaw yelling into his glove when Roberts took him out last night. Oh, by the way, Dodgers are on fire. They're the best team in baseball, bar none, and there would be, at the end of the day, something straight out of Hollywood to see Freddie Freeman win another ring this year, this time leading the Dodgers to a championship. And trust me, it's going to happen. I feel sad for Patrick Mahomes. Seriously, he was just rocked and jolted by the Tyreek Hill trade. Shocked. And then, you heard it right there, he's in the stages of grief and denial. Patrick Mahomes is starting to spin everything, talking to the media. Poor Patty. It's because he knows. Tyreek Hill was the ultimate home run hitter and weapon. He had 111 catches last year. One of two players in the NFL to have 50 or more receiving touchdowns since 2017. Over that same time frame, Hill is one of four players to have over 6,000 receiving yards. Hill makes everyone better, including even the great Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs took a major beating on this trade. Plus, the defense for Kansas City is worse. Oh, by the way, they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, who is more into TikTok than winning. More likely to help Jackson Mahomes than Patrick Mahomes. Look, the Steelers kicked him out, and sure, at the end of the day, Juju and MVS are tall, as Mahomes alluded to in the soundbite, but, you know, there's a reason they're not on the Steelers and the Packers, respectively. I mean, they're not in the same category as Tyreek Hill. I'll be open-minded come draft night, but this is a blow. This is not a legit group around Patrick Mahomes. The run game isn't reliable, and let's be honest here, the Chargers had the perfect offseason with their defensive additions, and Chargers are my team to beat in the AFC West. Broncos picked up the perfect quarterback, and the Raiders, for all the reasons we have documented on Time to Shine, the Raiders are going to be better and playoff bound once again. The Chiefs had questions with Hill. Without him, they're a 9-win team. They're a 9-win team, and that's a positive because of the genius of Mahomes and Reed. 9 wins, though, means last place in the historic AFC West. I don't say that with oven mitts. It's not a hot take. I say that based upon what Hill meant to this team and the fear that he struck in the opposition's defense. Boy, feel terrible for my guy Patrick Mahomes, because you know he knows it. Needless to say, Joel Embiid took his frustrations out of the Raptors last night. That give and take was just awesome when you looked at Embiid telling Nick Nurse, you know what, chill out. But look, Embiid was so engaged last night. He was so into it. And listen, sometimes in the postseason, you got to be both lucky and great. And the Sixers have played great. Embiid last night was unstoppable, MVP caliber. We said that the injury report for Toronto was going to end their hopes when you look at everything that transpired with no Scotty Barnes. And last night, those numbers, watching the game, the field, the domination, that's picture perfect if you're Joel Embiid. And a related story if you're the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, needless to say, what an awful loss for the Utah Jazz. And sure, I love Brunson, loved him at Villanova, loved him in the draft. He's going to make a lot of money, give him credit, felt happy for him. This is all about the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are offensive to the senses. The Utah Jazz losing last night when Luka Doncic didn't play. I mean, come on. This is shades of what happened last year in the postseason. And when you look at their defense, the perimeter defense, you look at what transpired when you saw Brunson or Dinwiddie, they would drive into the paint and then they would kick out and I mean, just wide open threes. Just pathetic. It's unacceptable. I mean, I feel terrible for the Jazz fans. I feel terrible for my guy Donovan Mitchell, who played brilliantly. That was credit Brunson, make no mistake. But the bigger story, the bigger deal, the Utah Jazz, that group, that mix, failing once again in a big spot. That, no Luka Doncic, you can't lose that game. You cannot lose this series. Needless to say, the Houston Astros have the Angels' number. And, you know, I appreciate Joe Madden, A, coming on the radio show yesterday, B, being honest with me in terms of the real hates that exists. And he loved when I teed him up on that in terms of real disdain and loathing the opposition and stressing how you have to win these divisional games. And, you know, I love this. Now, you look at it, it's lopsided here. And Alvarez was off the injured list, and, you know, he might end up hitting 45 home runs this year. He's just an incredible slugger. And the starting pitching for the Angels has to be better. You'd like to see Sandoval get a dub tonight, and obviously no Mike Trout. He's injured. That's a big deal. But the Anaheim Angels, they need to take care of business in the division in order to function. Joe Madden knows it. Listen, and we talked about it on the radio show on Schein on Sports on Sirius XM. Some games in the course of 162 are bigger than others. This series with the Houston Astros certainly applies. Needless to say, nice job, Ben McAdoo. Way to go, Ben McAdoo. This guy used to be the head coach of the Giants. I mean, it's crazy. This guy was the face. That's the face. The face of a franchise. I mean, he declares that Sam Darnold is his quarterback, and then, literally a minute later, no more Sam Darnold. Bang, it's Ben McAdoo. And by the way, let me stress this one more time. Hey, Carolina, 6th overall pick of the draft. Take Kenny Pickett. Ben McAdoo. At least he changed his hairdo.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.